tall and I fly in the sky because I stand on the shoulders of giants. Yazi, Mamosa. The experience of job hunting in South Africa. Yo. I think it wasn't so much because I'm passionate about the fact that I got to be a lab technician, but I was grateful for anything. I was like, I don't want to be an unemployed graduate sitting at home. I was creating a life. So I basically had a flat and everything in there. I gave all of that away. Resigned from my job, packed my whole life into just 2 suitcases, comes to Germany. And I was using this to invalidate my feelings of isolation and loneliness, which created a deep sense of desperation and depression. And for the first time in my life, I was depressed. And I enjoyed being asleep more than being awake. Remember, there's something wrong. Like I really awake. At any given point, if I could, I just wanted to be in the dark, sleeping. One of the things that I'm now doing is that I work out in the mornings. Okay. And this already sets, it puts tone to your day, it puts a rhythm to your day. Yeah. Because you have to get up a certain time, you work out, and that already makes you feel immediately better with that release of, those endorphins flooding your body, and you feel like you're ready to start the day.
Hey girl, how are you doing?
I've been amazing, of course.
Okay, that's good.
Because it's kind of reaching the end of the year. There's that year-end fatigue, of course, for everybody. We are so tired, but again, we are pushing through, and I think it's the whole festive season that's got me thinking, Nomthi,
you need to rest now.
I need to rest, so I'm okay. I've been okay. How have you been?
I've been good.
Okay.
Overall. I think I'm also at that point where I'm like, okay, I need to rest.
Yeah.
I need to chill,
yeah.
And then we'll continue again next year.
Of course.
Yeah, but I'm good.
All right.
Yes. Okay. So, by the way, Nomthi and I first met in 2016 at the University of Free State, Qaqwa campus. We both did honors together. And I want to ask the question.
Yeah.
So when we first met, I can't even remember when it happened, how it happened. But when you meet someone, you always have a first impression.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to know, did you have that when you saw me?
I think the first time I saw you, I was just like, hey, there's another tiny girl.
Oh.
I'm always like happy to see someone who's just as tiny as me. For some reason, I relate to these people more.
Sure.
And then I realized, Uti, you seem a little bit shy, a bit reserved, These are like just my first impressions of just seeing you walk around, I don't know who you are, where you're from, but I know you just joined us in honors. And at that time, Masasfundi honors, we've been together for 3 years, so there's little cliques and groups and people that know each other for a while, and I could see, Uti, you are kind of, the new person. And I thought maybe this is why you are shy and reserved and whatever. But as I got to know and I heard, she's the girl from this, and I'm like, oh girl, I'll see you. Okay, and then over time, it's just that getting to know you and realizing, hey, that's a pretty cool person. Yeah, those were my first impressions, just quiet, reserved, but outgoing and easy, friendly smile.
Yeah, I think for me, the first thing that I noticed when I saw you was the fact that ukhuluma fast.
So funny.
Yes, ukhuluma fast, and also you walk very fast.
Oh God.
So those are the 2 things that I noticed even before I could interact with you. And I think we got to kind of we did attend some classes together. Yeah. But I don't think we had a lot of interactions.
No.
In 2016. And then fast forward to 2022. 2022, 2021?
2021.
I can't remember.
We don't know.
Okay, but fast forward, I think 5-6 years later, we met in Germany. Ufike kanjani la eGermany? Like how? How did you get here?
That's the $1 million question. I myself, I don't know, mate.
How long have you been here for, and what did you
So I've been here for exactly 3 years and 5 months.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's just over 3 years, and I'm here because I'm doing my PhD. And so basically I'm in the wrapping up stages of my PhD. Hopefully. I hope I wrap it up for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically what has happened. And my coming to Germany, funny enough, it was not something that I had thought before it happened. It's gonna happen. It's not like I had in mind, hey, how about I go to Germany and do a PhD there? Like, for me, it was all, to be quite honest, a lot of chance happenings coming together that really made this possible.
Sure.
So yeah, that's basically how.
Okay, I think we should then go back a bit.
Yeah, let's go back a bit. Tell the story.
Yes, let's talk about the journey. How did you end up here? Where did you start? Because you're here because you're doing your PhD. But where did you start? Where did you do your bachelor and your postgrad? Yeah.
So, I mean, as you know, we met in Qwaqwa because I had been there for 4 years.
Okay.
Actually, when you got there, I was in my 4th year, which was my honors year.
Yeah.
So, I initially was in Qwaqwa campus doing my Bachelor of Science, majoring in Zoology and Life Sciences. But the funny thing is that I majored in Zoology and Life Sciences not because I had initially any intention of becoming a zoologist.
Oh, really?
Right? I did not think, Uguti, I was in matric thinking, you know what? I want to become a zoologist.
Okay, this is interesting.
You know, it was not like this, you know. So what basically happened is that I had only applied through CAO, which applies to the universities in KZN. And then I had applied, my aunt had applied for me a Qwaqwa campus UFS, saying, you know, as I play teaching, I hear you want to do all your fancy things at UKZN. By the way, I wanted to go to UKZN. I was like, you know, that's my dream university. I'm going to be a Westville girl, you know.
Okay. And what did you want to study there?
So I applied for a couple of things. My first choice was medicine. Second choice was pharmacy. You know, typical person who did science in school and always thinks, you know, everybody has to do medicine. I absolutely have to be a doctor, you know. And even applied for things that are right now that I'm thinking about it, I realize it's really strange. I applied for town and regional planning. I have no idea why, but it was one of the choices. I applied for law and dental therapy or something like this, and teaching. So it was just a mixture of things. And you know, realizing now I can see, because I didn't have that career coaching. We are born like, you can see the spread of my choices. There wasn't a specific program.
It was just all over the place.
Exactly. So thankfully enough, there was someone in my family, you know, who would be like, you know what, we should always have a plan B. And so she was like, let's make a backup plan, apply a YOUnique, as it's called by most people, and apply teaching con, so that if, you know, things don't go well according to all the things that you've applied for, you can go there. Fast forward, the matric results come out. We're just waiting, you know. I had done pretty well. I had some incredible points. And then EUFS just sends letters saying come to orientation.
Okay.
UKZN, nothing. Yeah, they really just say nothing.
Oh my god.
I remember the one time we were shopping. She said pep home. We're buying things now because YOUnique says come for orientation now. So we're just busy buying stuff for pep. And then I get a text from DUT saying that I have a firm offer for town and regional planning. Of which, when I got that offer, I realized, why did I apply? What are you doing? What are you doing? You know. So that just fell off, and then for everything else, I was on the waiting list. And then that's why I went to Qwaqwa.
Okay.
Now I feel like when I actually had applied for teaching, as I'm saying. But when I tried to register, as I took my statement, the ladies that were there at registration were like, "Don't you want to do science? Look, you've got really great results so far mainstream, you know."
And now you're tempted.
I'm like, well, you know, I did do science in school, and I do like science and stuff. And then I told them, no, I can't, because my aunt said that she would help me study e-teaching, and this is what she can afford.
Okay.
So I said this, and they were like, you know what, we can find a bursary for you.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, that's exactly how. And immediately they were like, we'll put you in a 3-year BSc stream. You said you want to be a doctor. You'll come out of the BSc and do medicine. We'll give you a bursary. Wow. You get residence. That's because amazing. At that time, like, you know, in Khanyile, they were like, we'll give you residence. They really made the deal so sweet. Wow. And weirdly enough, by the end of the day, I called home and I said, look, I didn't register for teaching.
Surprise.
And they were like, what happened?
Yeah, I didn't have to explain.
And then I just explained to them, you know. And so that's how I ended up doing the BSc Zoology and Life Sciences because wow. So before we were rudely interrupted by Igwe calling.
Yeah, it's your saying.
That's how I ended up doing the BSc Zoology and Life Sciences, and I finished it in those 3 years. And in the 3rd year, actually, I was very confused about what I wanted to do with my future, because here I now have this BSc Zoology and Life Sciences. But I'm not really sure what the next step is. Should I try to get into medicine? At this time, I was really seriously doubting this because, you know, I had kind of liked what I was doing. But at the same time, being I don't want to fail myself. You know, I had initially wanted to do medicine, so let me try. I need to put effort. I need to try again. You know. Well, fast forward. You know, the following year I met you doing my honors. So that's basically me continuing in the same stream, doing my honors now in zoology again. And I had gotten NRF funding. For honors, and that was really great. You know, and then the following year I said, you know what, it is time for me to move away. I'm one person who truly believes in enriching your experiences by expanding your network, expanding who and the places that you know. So I kind of at that point saw myself as a nomad, and I felt I have absorbed every single opportunity that I can on Kwakwa campus. I think you get to a point like this. If you knew me as a student, you would know that I was super involved in a lot of things. I did everything that there was to do in the UFS. Every program that was there, you would find me in it. You know. So I really had grabbed every single opportunity, and I needed a new space. I needed to be challenged by new experiences, and that's essentially why I had decided, I'm moving away now. I need to go to a different university, and that's when I applied to a couple of universities in South Africa for my master's. The first one to accept me was Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela University in the Eastern Cape. There, they were like, hey, I sent in my application. They immediately responded and said, please come through. And I'm like,
come now.
Yes, sure, I'm gonna come, you know. And then also in the end, somehow I also got the VITS offer. I weighed the two, you know. And luckily enough, I was able to get ENRF freestanding scholarship. So what this freestanding scholarship meant was that I could take it anywhere. So I could go to whichever university I wanted and do whichever project that I wanted with this funding. And so I settled in the end for going to VITS because I have family there, and I felt like that was my landing pad. You know, I have somewhere to start. And hey, you know, it's VITS. So I was like, you know what?
Why not?
Let me go conquer the edge. And that's how I went and did my master's in animal behavior. And I think what was really incredible for me throughout this whole experience was that every single time that I was doing research, I've always had such incredible supervisors.
That's a blessing.
That's the thing.
Supervisors, guys. You know, it's true when they say they can either make you or break you. It is so true. So, and in the Konubuti, this was never something from my part. It's not like to get good supervisors where I did research and I'm like, who do I want? I think he's amazing. Really, it was just a chance happening, but in the end, it made me. From honors level into my master's, I had incredible supervisors. And I usually say, Yuguti, right now I stand tall and I fly in the sky because I stand on the shoulders of giants. That's usually my outlook on life. You know, I feel like my whole life is a collection of little inspirations that come from different people. So many people have contributed to who I am. Of course. Just by giving me a chance, just by being a great supervisor, just by extending
a help and mentorship. And so because of my supervisors actually at vets, I was able to do really well and also able to think broad leading up to basically getting my master's and then getting a job after that.
Okay, tell us about that. But maybe before you go there, I mean, as you're telling your story, I was just listening, I'm like, I can relate. I can relate because I remember when I finished my matric, I was also not informed. Honestly, I like you because you applied to different universities. I only applied to one. And that was it. So I don't know what would have happened if vets did not take me. And then everything, like your journey moving to UFS, doing BSc, and then not sure what to do afterwards. Because I also had to think about that. I'm not ready to go work. Like, I'm not ready to start looking for a job. What do I do with my life? Because I also wanted to do medicine.
But
then I was like, I need time. I actually don't like it. I don't see myself as a doctor. You know. Then I continued with honors as well. So now back to
I see what you're saying, and I think, you know, just to touch on what you're saying a little bit. It's the experience that we both have is an experience of so many different people that come from underprivileged schools where we don't have career coaching. You know, you just throw in applications because as soon as you reach grade 10 and you do physics and math, all of us are gonna be doctors, all of us are gonna apply for medicine. You know, and one of my teachers, he was my physics teacher, he was incredible. I only started quoting my supervisors, but I will tell you, Uguti, I've been through the hands of the best teachers. For example, Mr. Mudley, who was my physics teacher, he would always basically, you know, do things. And one of the things that really helped was that I was always okay in physics, but kind of weak in maths. So what he said was, you know, Standiwe, Standiwe is my first name, by the way. A lot of people call me Nomthi, but my first name is Standiwe. You know, anyway, you would do even better in physics if you would get a good grip on maths, you know. So we need to get you a tutor for maths. And he actually paid for my private tutoring on every weekend. I think it was around maybe 350 rand a month from the time that I was in grade 10 till I finished my matric.
Because he saw a potential in
you. And then he would be the one who said, anyway, there's 8 medical schools in South Africa. If you want to become a doctor, you have to apply to all 8 of them, you know? So, and I didn't apply to all 8 of them. I only applied to UKZN. So there was that, but also at that time, India free applications in Kalamanj, where people can apply online. Back then, we filled in paper CAO application forms and we had to pay. You simply could not apply to all 8 medical schools. So these are the dynamics, and I think right now, a combination of the fact that things are free and also having the right amount of coaching and having the access to knowledge, it makes the situation slightly better, and that we didn't have. But in any case, I finished my master, and then I decided to go see, not because I really wanted to, but because, you know, coming from the background that I come from, I realized I cannot stay in school forever and expect to go see other people should fund my lifestyle of wanting to stay in university, you know. So I had decided it was okay, I have to find a job now, and then I'll study part-time. So I already knew that I wanted to do a PhD, but I thought, I'll do it part-time. I did get a job. So I graduated in July. In August, I started a new job at the Durban University of Technology in Pietermaritzburg. I was working as a lab technician.
And how was this experience like?
I was happy at first. Yazi, Mamosa. The experience of job hunting in South Africa. Yo. I was like crying all the time. I don't know how many applications I sent. I got called to some interviews, but they would not respond, some of them. Abanye, they didn't even reject the application, so you never know what happened. Abanye, you never even got called to the interview, even if they acknowledged the application. So I think it wasn't so much because I'm passionate about the fact that I got to be a lab technician, but I was grateful for anything. I was like, I don't want to be an unemployed graduate sitting at home, you know. So the fact that I got it, I was like, I'll take the first thing that comes. And I did go, you know. I was like, okay, well, this is within my skills and within the range of stuff that I can do, so let me go do it.
See how it goes.
I loved the students there. I still think about them sometimes, Manji. They were actually, so it was the School of Education, but the labs that I was basically a technician for were the the physics and biology labs, as well as the chemistry one.
Sure.
Basically, where the people that are going to teach the science streams in schools do the practicals.
Okay.
There's a lot that goes behind running a lab. This we don't realize, but from the procurement of all of the equipment, the preparations of the practicals, I had to mark those scripts for the practical reports every single week. There was a practical exam and stuff like this. So it really was a very busy job. And also there's a lot of bureaucracy, because the equipment that you need, for example, can cost about 200,000 rand. There is a little delay. So okay, we budget, we do have some money, but of course there's paperwork, because it's not like they're just gonna put it into your account. This I didn't like so much, because I've never been a person who's under these types of things. I just want to do research. I just want to. In the Mazogus man, they finally need the paperwork for a procurement of this and that, and then go through all of the bureaucracy that is involved, and then go through making the different quotations and communicating with the people from the different companies. I was just like,
it's too much. I didn't sign up for this.
I didn't sign up for this life. I didn't, to be quite honest, I think it was naive of me, and also a lack of knowledge from my part of what the job truly entailed. But in any case, I did it, and I won't say I was bad at it, but I was not too happy in that environment. And also I felt like it was a stifling of my full potential, because I felt like I had a master's degree in animal behavior, and I did absolutely nothing related to this. So I think one day I was so unhappy that I was just like, I'm gonna apply. I went onto Facebook. Someone was sharing something. A previous mentor from a program that I had at the UFS, her name is Priscilla Mensa. She shared something, and I was like, well, let me try my luck. If I tell you, I saw that application, I sent in my CV and stuff immediately, just chance. It was a PhD program in Germany, literally in a topic I had no knowledge about. But I was like, you know what?
There's nothing to lose. Let me
just throw in this type of application,
So what happened?
I sent in the application, and I didn't take it seriously. I went home and I continued my life like nothing happened until Dr. Otom, who was my honest supervisor that I had listed as a reference, then told me, hey, I've been contacted by these people in Germany. They want a reference. I'm like, oh my God, now I'm freaking out. Like, this is happening, And then also no Carsten, who's my master supervisor, contacted me and said, hey, they requested a reference, and I sent it. Okay. And then I saw things are serious, man. They called me in for a Skype interview at that time. It was before Corona time, so Zoom being we were Skyping at that time, And then we did the interview, and I mean, it was okay. I remember just sitting there in the lab. I was in the lab and just wearing my formal shirt and just, I think I represented myself well, but I think they could tell, Uguti, it's not my field of specialization. Now, here's where the interesting part comes in. I was actually rejected for that application.
Were you?
But the person who's in the committee, so there's a committee that is part of the recruitment process. He saw my application. So when they sent me the rejection email, they said, we really loved your application, but we think you might find it challenging in this program because you do not have the background for it. But we know of a neighboring institute that is actually perfectly suited for your skills.
Nice.
And we will make sure that if they have applications, we send it through to that side.
Oh, that's so nice.
One of the people that were in the recruitment team then contacts me and says, hey, I saw your application there, I really liked it. This is the work that we do. Are you up for a meeting? And I'm like, yes.
So were you familiar with the type of work that they were doing?
Yes, this was an institute for ecology. I mean, symbiosis, generally as a biologist, you'll know what it is. But I had not done symbiosis work before. Right? So he contacts me. We have a conversation, and he says, I'm opening applications. We just got funding for PhD and postdoc positions. Please apply. And the following day sent immediately my application, you know. And
why waste time?
Why waste time? I'm like, come on, I've been invited. I've been invited to apply, okay?
Special invitation.
A special invitation to apply. Let me just go for it,
now.
you know. And I applied, and you know what? The day that I got an email saying, "We love your applications. Please come for an interview now." So we're in person. In person. I was like, what do these people mean? I thought it was a joke. I'm like, is it not a scam? Are they not gonna human traffic me? I was like doing lots of research now about this lab, looking at this person. This is a real professor. It looks legit, you know? Yeah. And then I start the process of applying for the visa and stuff like this.
So wait, did it cover the cost, or did you have to pay everything for like flight tickets and stuff?
It was covered. The whole cost was covered except the visa. I think the visa came from me, but the visa was about 1,000 something rand, right? Yeah. So it was. I mean, I did have a job, right? I could maneuver. Yes. However, even though I did have a job, I could not just keep it 30,000 rand for the return tickets and stuff like this. So what was also a very nice lesson that I learned at this time, I remember stressing the hell out because I had just been working. I didn't have a lot of savings and stuff like this. But book my flight tickets. But it's an all expenses paid trip, but we will reimburse you. Yeah, guys, you know the reimbursement system of academia. Because to me it's like, yes, you're gonna pay for it, but you expect me now to book an 800 euro ticket.
It's a lot.
It was about, I don't know, like at that time, it was 16,000 rand required immediately. And also booking accommodation and stuff like this. I remember just thinking to myself, how am I?
What am I gonna do?
In the end, okay, oh my God. But I was like, let me be brave enough. I think the email guy drafted, but I had not been sending it for days because I was like, I just want to email them and say, look, please, man, just book the flights for me. I don't want to have to pay this amount of money, you know, for if it's a guy toll and stuff like this. It's just too risky for me. And also a lot of money that at that time I didn't have. So I sent the email. I'm like, look, please, guys, I ain't my money. Help me. And they were like, yeah, sure. Like, yes, guys, after stewing in an email for days and suffering, how does it look if I say I'm they were like, yeah, sure, send us the flights you want to book. I send them my screenshots.
Just like that.
I'm flying. Wow. Interview.
Wow.
So that's up to the point. That's what happened.
So you basically had to ask.
I just had to ask.
It was that simple.
It was that simple. And from there, I've been brave enough now to know with empilweni so many things are not as complex as your mind makes them to be. You know, sometimes, my attitude is, what do I have to lose? The worst that a person can say is no.
Exactly.
That's the worst that can happen. And yes, maybe I feel bad about it, but if they say yes, what are the possibilities? What are the possibilities? So that's basically what happened, gay, and I went over.
So you came to Germany, had your interview, then went back, then waited for them to... Okay.
I come to Germany, and one of the things that made me feel I was not going to get this position was not necessarily how I represented myself. I had practiced my presentation, but when I looked at the list of candidates, and also we had to make presentations, so it was a symposium. So all of the applicants from around the world that had applied and been shortlisted were there. And we all had to present in a seminar and then take questions from the audience and then go through like sort of discussions or interviews. I had a panel that had the supervisor and 2 group leaders or postdocs, and then also meet all of the people from the lab. So it was a full day, like that was like feeling like being interviewed 100 times, you know. And Mambo had the list of candidates, and also listening to their talks, all of them were doing something molecular with symbiosis, and then I'm the only person coming from animal behavior. I'm like, how did I end up here? Like, this is not. I was so lost in that symposium. I really felt as much as I've represented myself well, I made a good presentation. I don't feel bad about how I performed, but yabona that syndrome you was compare. Guys, they are so smart. They do this type of molecular stuff that I haven't done before. What am I even doing here? What am I even doing here? You know. 1 week later, so I went back to South Africa after those interviews. I went back to Pietermaritzburg. So the first weekend that I had been back, I was going back home. So it's a rank. I was at the rank, waiting for the taxi in Nanda. I'm from Nanda, you know. And I get the email that changed my life forever. It just says, we've discussed and we've decided we would really love to join you, for you to join us.
Congratulations!
We think you'll be an amazing addition to the team.
Wow.
This was me regular. I'd been standing in the line. If Wazi, people that are from Durban will tell you, I'm a line. Mad. I had been waiting there for an hour. I get the email, it takes Yafi, and this was just me like
excitement, emotions. Yes.
At the time it was not even excitement.
I think it was
for me it's hope. The feeling of Uguti, I just felt like I had been fighting my whole life for an opportunity like this, and it felt like someone said breathe. Someone said there's hope. It was a fighting chance, and I just felt a release of emotion. For me, it was more than I'm excited about what my future holds, but it was just thinking back on how far I had come, and that it had all ultimately got to that point. No one around me knows how much I fought for this moment. But you said taxi, and I'm just like, and imagine they were sitting next to me. I just like,
it's like
okay, man, you know,
like, why are you crying?
And I just cried the whole way home. Like I was just crying like. And yeah, that's it. I got home and I told my mom, I just got the email. I'm going to Germany. It had not settled in, but that was it.
Wow.
And then I came over. It was an employment contract with the full benefits. It was going to be double the salary that I was getting there in that position at DUT. So I was just like, you know what?
Salad.
Little celebration, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was really an incredible moment. Till date, it's one of the best moments of my life.
Wow, can you imagine? Like even now, oh my god, I don't know. I'm feeling it. Like I'm really, really feeling it.
Yeah.
And as we're talking about hope, I was like, you know what? How many times do we let go of opportunities because we think we don't qualify? We think, no, she's better. He's better. It's definitely not me. So I'm just gonna let go. But sometimes it only takes that little bit of hope to say, let me give it a shot. You know, let me give it a try. I mean, there's nothing to lose. And that's basically what you did, and it worked out perfectly well. It transformed your life, and of course you're gonna share more about that. But I'm really, really happy for you.
Thank you so much.
And oh my god, I don't know, I'm feeling that's really great. That's a beautiful story, very inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
And also very motivating as well. So yes, girl, you packed your bags and you're like, guys, let me go, let me fly to Germany. And what happened when you got here?
I resigned from my job. Because I didn't say this, but it was a permanent position at DUT. However, there was no position above it, so I was gonna be the lab technician forever. There's no aspiring for anything more than, you know. So I had to resign, and this was incredibly risky for me. And I think, in as much as I knew, I'm leaving my permanent position for a 3-year contract.
What's gonna happen afterwards?
What happened? Fine, I go to Germany, but then what? Bro, it's a PhD, and then I don't think it's an unemployed doctoral graduate, you know. So it was really, really a bit scary for me. Just I was creating a life. I basically had a flat and everything in there. I gave all of that away. resigned from my job, packed my whole life into just 2 suitcases, comes to Germany, and I start the position. And also, I have to say, Uti, indeed it did change my life, but it has been an incredibly challenging time also with the PhD, being away from home, and also making a research pivot, because I came from animal behavior into now symbiosis. And in symbiosis, it's a field where you use a lot of tools that are coming from microbiology, molecular biology, and stuff like this. You know, and I had not been exposed to that. I realized coming here that I did not know the most basic things about microbiology. I could not even, I had never made just a plating of a bacteria.
So you basically had to learn from scratch.
And most of the time I felt absolutely overwhelmed and thinking, oh my god, I'm going to fail at this. Oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing. Did
I make the right decision?
Oh my god, I'm freaking out, you know. But one of the most powerful lessons that my PhD has taught me is that yonke into iyafundeka.
Amen.
Everything can be learned. The first time that I had to do journal club, so we have journal club where you choose a paper, or who choose a paper, and then either someone has to present it. So there's different formats of it, but at the time the format in our lab was that someone really reads it thoroughly and then sort of explains to the people with Zagalan. And I remember looking at the paper and thinking, I don't know what the hell this is. How am I going to present this paper? I spent, and they don't know that because I just presented the paper, but I had been reading that paper for 2 weeks, every blessed day, trying to understand what the hell this is, you know? And so there's a lot of things that have gone on behind the scenes, and 6 months into my stay in Germany, pandemic. So Scala says on my hey, there could be something in China. It's just in China. It's in Asia. Like,
exactly.
We don't care, you know. Like,
yes.
You know. How come it can never happen? There's no such thing as. And you know this. We were watching Nomthi with you, the thing that Trevor was saying. Like, when it started, no one thought that it would.
You just continue with your life.
It reached us. It brought the whole world to its knees. And I'm in a foreign country. I am shook because I'm also afraid for my family. And at the same time, people are losing their jobs all over. You know, so there are bad people losing loved ones. And I had to force myself to say, be grateful you have a roof over your head and you still have a job and everything is fine. You can work from home. So there's that aspect. And I was using this to invalidate my feelings of isolation and loneliness. You know, which created a deep sense of desperation and depression, because Lana, I have absolutely no human contact. Everyone is isolating, and I was living in a student dormitory at the time. Everybody just went home because you're going to work from home anyway. So this is a 9-story building that was practically empty, save for a few individuals that are left behind. And of course, we're not communicating with these people. We're not going to the lab. The only time I see people is over Zoom. I just craved human contact. Crave human contact. I remember the time, guys, salon, like some, you know, when the pandemic restrictions were being lifted a little bit, I went to the salon because I wanted to do my hair. I think we had been almost a year in lockdown. I go to the salon and the lady there, she had a baby. And I remember offering to hold her baby because I wanted to hold someone. I was like, wow, I'm holding a human being.
No, it was deep.
It was so deep, and I felt every single day I felt bad for feeling horrible because I was like, I have a roof over my shoulder, I have a job, I should be grateful, but really it was driving me insane. It was driving me crazy. And for the first time in my life I was depressed. Lack of sunlight, you know how it is. Like you take this for granted, bruh. You feel that lack of, you know, the physiology of your body just telling you, Uguti, this is abnormal.
There's something missing.
Missing. Lack of activity. A guy's in life. You know, like because all I was doing is just sitting at home, doing some work, eating, sleeping, doing this, doing it every single day.
And also because you are craving that social interaction, you just wanna comfort yourself. And one way of doing that is what? Eating and eating.
There came a time when I just didn't want to be awake. Like, I think I would just wake up. My whole my sleep-wake routine was totally flipped. Because I was awake during the night but sleeping during the day. Which meant I even could not, I was really not exposed to the sunlight. And so I'm busy doing work, save for days when, you know, we had to meet people online and stuff like this. And then during the day I would be sleeping. My body just had no sense of what was going on. And of course, this was neglect from my side. And this is one of the greatest lessons that I have learned. Before living in South Africa, I've never had to take active part in my mental health, in my physical well-being.
Sure.
But living here, I take it very seriously now. I make sure I somewhat have a schedule. I need to go to bed at a certain time and wake up at a certain time so my body gets used to. I need to eat certain foods and keep regular. I need to be physically active. I need to go outside. You absolutely have to go outside because you need it. You absolutely need it. And before, I wasn't doing this because I'm realizing I was always surrounded by people with things to do. And you go outside and you get that dose of the energy and the people and the activity without even trying. But here I have to actively participate in my own well-being, which is something I never had to do before. So this was also like a really great learning moment for me, and just pulling myself out of the deep hole alone was the toughest battle that I had to fight. But it was what it was, and I'm grateful that, you know, I did come out of it. And
but how did it actually happen? Like, how did you actually say, okay, now things have to change, I need to step up and take charge of my life?
When my sleep-wake routine was inverted, and when I basically could not function during the day, this is deep. And moreover, when I enjoyed being asleep more than being awake, there's something wrong. Like, I really awake at any given point. If I could, I just wanted to be in the dark, sleeping, because I did not want to process things. You know, I did not want to be awake to think.
Face reality.
I did not want to face reality. You know, everything that I liked before, I used to be a person who loves to read and do certain things. I don't want to do this anymore. Interest. And I also, the little times that people would be like, how about we do this? I would make an excuse to not go because I didn't want to interact with people. And to think, I was actually depressed because I was isolated, but that made me more isolated because now I really didn't want to interact with people. So it was just a vicious cycle. And then, you know, starting to get those thoughts of when you realize awake, because you see the darkness that starts to come. You don't want to be alive, you know. So it was just a sense of realizing okay, I need to try something, I need to talk to somebody, I need to
be proactive.
I need to do something because I am wallowing and I am sinking in deeper and deeper and deeper, and maybe I will never be able to come out.
Sorry to interject. Did you ask anyone? I mean, did you tell anyone at home? Maybe one of your friends, family?
Definitely not my family. Mostly because I never want to stress my mom when I'm here.
I know.
You know. But also, you know, the mental health are not that well received. You know. One of the times that I was also super stressing, a family member came over and I told them, you know, and I said I'm not okay, and they just said, you know.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm okay. I'm fine. You know? Because really people right, you know. You have a job, you have a flat, you're working,
you should be
you're right.
No reason to stress.
Absolutely.
Or not be okay.
You know? But my friends, now this is a different story because I have incredible friends that we are super transparent with each other. And we would really talk for long periods of time. But there's this weird thing with my friends where somehow we all go through the same thing at the same time. So weird enough, like, you know, my friend is also suffering. I'm suffering, and we can talk about that. But you know, it's tough coming out of it when we are basically collectively suffering.
Yeah.
But one conversation that definitely did happen was with one of my colleagues that was telling me about also going through something like this. That's the thing. As a guys, you meet a person, and I didn't tell him because I was going through this, but he just started talking about it.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, you know, how he feels and stuff like this. We were coming back from I think the cafeteria to buy lunch or something like this, and I was like, you know, I'm so glad that you spoke to me about this, because I've been in the exact same spot, and I felt like
finally I can talk to someone.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it.
Sure. And speaking of opening up, right, it's something that is very difficult, because you're also thinking about how are they gonna perceive me, what are they gonna think of me, and sometimes you only realize after you've talked to someone that actually I'm not the only one. And personally, I experienced this year.
Okay.
Yo guys, PhD will show you flames.
I
remember when we met in Leipzig. I think, was it in June, July, somewhere there?
No, it was definitely
was it in May?
Before summer.
So we met and we just like spending the day together, exploring. And we also had a very nice chat. Like we spoke about, it was more like a catch up, you know, a real catch up.
We talked about everything. I think there's nothing we didn't talk about.
Everything, basically. And I was basically giving you an update on how things are going on my side. I'm like, you guys, like, it's not happening. It is not happening. This is how I'm feeling. And it's kind of making me anxious, you know, like, there was just a whole lot of things going on. And you also shared your story, your experience. And I mean, we didn't have solutions for each other, but we're just sharing. And through that sharing, there was that sense of hope, comfort to say, okay, I'm not the only one. So this is normal, you know? And you speak to someone who can relate, and you're like, okay, so things will be fine, you know? So there is power in opening up and talking about what you're going through. Sometimes it's not necessarily that you want an advice from someone, but you just want to offload, you know, and it helps. It really does help a lot. And I'm glad that you were able to get out of the hole and you're where you are right now. And I'm sure, like you said, you had to be very intentional about certain things, like what time you go to bed, being intentional about doing some form of activity, you know, like workout, exercising. Maybe tell us, how has that helped you in maybe improving your mental health and all of that?
One of the things that I'm now doing is that I work out in the mornings. Okay. And this already sets, it puts tone to your day, it puts a rhythm to your day. Because you have to get up a certain time, you work out, and that already makes you feel immediately better with that release of, you know, those endorphins just flooding your body, and you feel like you're ready to start the day. Where you feel like, I can take on the world. That's a feeling you have when you be, you know, as a person who's super into physical stuff, and you do a lot of running, you know, you're really into taking care of your physical well-being. You know the feeling that I'm talking about. You know,
it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful feeling, and it makes you feel I can conquer. One person used to say, I don't know where I heard this, but I heard it somewhere. Sorry, I cannot tell you who said it, but it's like, if you want to be successful, the first thing you need to do when you wake up in the morning is make your bed. It gives you the first sense of achievement for the day. Like, okay, you can take that off your list. And I think for me, this is what working out in the mornings has done for me. It gives me a sense of accomplishment already. It floods my body with the kind of motivation that I need to get the day started. And just generally contributes to my overall well-being. I go to work, I come back, I try to eat a meal as balanced as possible, you know, because in the long run, I think also coming from where we come from, we don't prioritize balance in meals. We prioritize follow suit.
Yes. As long as you're healthy or sharp, that's it.
You know. So, this is something that now I had to step away from. You know, with it. If I just, you really just have to take care of these types of things. It's been working out great, really. You know, you when you start to feel better, you start to do better.
For sure.
You definitely start to do better. And for me, routine, I'm a very routinal person. I realized to a very weird extent, in fact. And when I break out of that,
you and I same WhatsApp group.
For me, into nyenza the way you're looking nyenza a
yeah.
And when I start to deviate from that, it really gets very nerve-wracking for me, you know.
I know. Yeah.
And I think I don't realize how much it stresses me when I don't follow routine, because my mind does not connect with actually the way you've been feeling lately. That anxiety is because you've stepped out of routine. So all I'm just feeling is this anxiety that I don't know what's coming again. You know. But when I really set things into motion and I do things a certain way, I'm very comfortable, you know. And I'm like, okay, this is great. And of course, it's nice to do new things and set challenges for yourself. So you should always keep this as part of your routine as well.
Yes.
You know. You
You
can be spontaneous without being spontaneous.
Of course.
You can plan the spontaneity and be spontaneous.
Plan it.
Plan with one of the spontaneous. But so it's really been working out great, and I'm so sad to some extent, Uguti. It's taken me such a long time to get here.
I know.
Your life could have been slightly easier if I had figured this out way sooner, but I didn't, unfortunately. But hopefully for other people, this serves as trying to do it as early as possible. And also, one of the greatest lessons that I've learned: ask, guys. Ask for help. Ask for help. I cannot even begin to explain to you my fear of asking for help has made my life so much harder than it should be. You know, and now that I'm really trying to step out of it and really ask myself every time I'm about to ask and I feel anxiety, the worst I can say is I don't know, I don't want to help, or no, whatever.
But where do you think it comes from, though?
We can speculate. We can speculate. I've mostly been responsible for my own life. If I should put it so. Yes, I remember this one time, just a person saying, we're going out, we're doing stuff, and it's like, let me help you. Let me do that for you. Just allow me to help you, please. And I'm like, no. Sorry, actually, yes, do it. Because in my mind, everywhere I go, I have to figure things out myself. I have to figure things out myself.
Oh my God.
And even recently, I was having a conversation with my supervisor and telling him about struggling to be writing the current manuscript that I'm writing. Because Mina, in my mind, when I take a manuscript to my supervisor, it has to be done and complete. It's for me, even though I'm still going to correct it with his comments when he brings it. But in my mind, I'm like, I have to get it as close to perfection as possible. It's not the case. He was telling you can literally send, for example, not even the whole thing, but little sections, and we can talk about it. You can ask me, okay, I'm a little bit stuck here, let's discuss this. And this would make my life so much easier. It's true. Instead of always aiming to have a complete product and not ask for help in the early stages and taking way longer than you should be, being stuck in a problem because you're not asking for help. Zulu, it has a saying, Abati engakhali fele mbelekweni. And I don't know what the perfect translation for this is, but ask for help, guys.
I think in Sotho we say, I think it's
the
same.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, actually, so do you think the fact that you're not comfortable, obviously right now you're learning to, you're not comfortable to ask for help, do you think it also manifests in your relationships? Let's say romantic relationships?
Yes, guys, I don't want to be the person that I am sometimes, I think so. I mean, I guess so. I had the first time that I really had someone that I felt that I could depend on. I felt like it was easier for me to ask for help. But there are very few people in my life like this. Personally, I have some friends that my two best friends that I really feel it's okay. My husband, I can ask for help. Outside of that, I have a very strong sense of no one owes me anything. And every little thing, that's why I'm a very, very grateful person. And I always see my life through, oh my God, you would do that for me, because it's like, wow, angazi. I always see it as it's not my right. Whenever someone helps me, I'm super grateful because you don't have to. And I think sometimes it does manifest this way because I have the strong sense of I won't always. I'm not a demanding person. I mean, demand isn't the way, and I won't really make you feel you absolutely have to do certain things. But sometimes this may come across as I'm too. It's pride. I don't know. Should say maybe you're too prideful to ask for help. It's not really that. It's really just not wanting to bother people sometimes. But when I have a sense I can rely on you, and that sense doesn't come to me all the time, I tend to be more free.
That's nice.
I have been in a relationship where I felt I could rely and depend on the person, and for me this type of feeling was very liberating because I could say, would you please do that for me? Would you please do that for me? Would you please do that for me? But outside of that, I have never had a person because I have never been like, oh, I feel safe here. I feel that I can depend on you.
I mean, I'm asking you this question because I also have the same thing where I'm like, I'll sort it out, and I've seen it manifesting in my relationships, not just romantic relationships, but sometimes friendships, to a point where I remember like my ex. So I remember in my previous relationship, I had this really nice guy, Shane, like really, really nice. And he encouraged me to be comfortable, to ask for help. He'd say, even if you can do something for yourself, just allow me to do it. Just allow me to help and be there for you. And it would be so difficult for me to allow him to help me. I don't know, but I think it also has to do with the fact that I grew up with that mentality of independence and also being responsible, especially as a firstborn.
Firstborn.
As a firstborn, you have to take responsibility. I don't know, maybe it has its own advantages but also disadvantages.
It has a lot of disadvantages.
Exactly. So right now I'm also in that process of learning to trust people, and also ask where I need help. And it's always nice and liberating to ask other people to also chip in.
Amen. I feel you so much, and I also know how hard it is to get to the point where you can be comfortable enough to ask for help. It doesn't just happen with anybody. And I think kudos to those people that make us feel safe enough that we can do this. But also, guys, I think there's a lot that goes into this. For me, it's like a multifaceted thing because also I'm raised by a single mother. So the way that my life the way that things have worked out, I just always saw woman gotta do what a woman gotta do.
Ooh, girl.
Woman gotta do what a woman gotta
do.
And the thing is that, like, my mom is not like a modern feminist woman or genuity. A woman must be able to do everything for herself. She's a normal woman, but I really saw her carry us just using the one phrase, 18 years Zulu. There's 5 of us. 5 of us are firstborn. Things were tough, you can imagine. She's single mother, never really had a job that was enough to sustain us. So her saying that, I think why Suga is motivate her. She had twins at some point. So there's 5 of us, and the last 2 they are twins. And she would take them to the clinic, both of them at the same time, and they were little babies. And she just would tell herself, I can't live wise. I can carry my own kids if God would give them to me, And this was not something that she was trying to teach me, but something that I observed because I was a child, and I observed, girl gotta do what a girl gotta do.
This is how it's done. Okay, all right, let's do this.
And then it just and then you just grow up, realizing, there's no one else to rely on. And it's just, I think, to a very large extent, of course, I'm grateful for having a sense of independence, but one does not need to navigate the world like this. It doesn't have to be. I don't think we're meant to be beings that just feel so isolated and alone and having to take on all of the world's problems on your own, you know. And so Mina, I am the type of person that would definitely love to share a life with someone, you know. I definitely would love this because I don't want to navigate the world alone. I can, but it's not fun, you know. I don't want to. We're social beings. We should be with other people.
So please, hey.
But gay, I mean, we take things as they come. I mean, now when I have to do it alone, I will. But now I think I am at a point in my life where I'm totally comfortable as long as you give me the space and you make me trust the fact that you are a safe space for me to be that way. Mamos. Please. Gail, help me, please. You know.
Yo, man, I don't know, but I feel like our stories are similar. Because I'm just listening to you, Witty. Okay, you're also raised by a single mom. Nami Futi. And I think I also got that, you know, sense of independence from just observing my mom doing things, raising us 3 girls. Girls, it's not easy. It is not easy. But she did it, and I'm just like, okay, Nami, I gotta be tough. I gotta be strong. You know? And shame, like right now, I'm also, you know, as you grow up, you also become more self-aware and you kind of understand where certain things stem from. So at first, I was not even aware which I had this trait. But over time, I learned which, okay, so I do have this. Yes, it's good, but do I want this to continue forever and ever? No, I don't think so. But now at least I'm aware and I'm working on becoming a better individual, you know.
Being a team player, guys.
Exactly.
In my life, I was like, I tried group work. So
now
I'm learning to like group work. You know? Sometimes it's okay to be in a team, right?
It's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So, sure, girl. You know what? I feel like we could continue and continue. Yeah, but your story is really, really inspiring, and maybe just to close off. What would you say is one lesson that you've learned about yourself in the past 12 months?
In the past 12 months? Let me think. What has happened in the last 12 months? So this is November, ne? No, actually we're December now.
December, yes.
So from the last December until now.
Or maybe about life, based on the experiences that you've had.
For me, the number one thing, and I've said it in the course of this interview, is absolutely everything can be learned. And this doesn't just apply to academics. It applies to social interactions. For as long as you're aware and are willing to put in the effort that is required, you can learn to be a better friend, a better student, a better supervisor. You can learn to be a better human being and learn to appreciate life for what it gives you and for what you can give to life. So for me, that has just been the highlight of, in fact, the last 4 years is knowing and understanding. And just for me, it seems very intuitive. Umuntu might think, of course, that's part. It's obvious, right? But it was not for me. Really, there were things where I was just like, it's impossible. I was learning how to skate. I remember the first time I put on skates. I was like, it's impossible. How do people stand in this? I can never do this in my life. And now I can. You know, I'm not an amazing skater, but I can put on some skates and skate down the street, and that's totally okay. You will fall a few times. You will struggle. You will break a thumb or strain a thumb, as it has happened to me. But in the end, if you are willing to put in the work and the effort, you can absolutely learn to improve the quality of your life and improve the quality of the interactions that you have with people and make yourself a better human in this manner.
100%.
And so for me, that has been a lesson that I carry with me every day. Whenever I encounter a new challenging situation, I'm like, it's okay. You can learn. And if you and that entails asking for help, taking care of yourself, knowing what your entire life is experienced through your mind. Basically, that's like home base headquarters. If you don't take care of this,
it's over.
It's over. Yo, mission control center just goes boom and the rocket fails to launch because the control center, which is up here, is not in the space that it should be in. So you can learn to take better care of yourself. You can basically learn. Everything can be learned.
I love that. That's really powerful.
Thank you so much.
Really, really powerful and encouraging as well. And as you were sharing, I'm also thinking about my own research because I have to learn coding, programming, you know, using Python and what, and I'm like, I've never done this before, you know, it's very intimidating, and you're like, will I ever get it right, you know, but it's so encouraging when you say, you can learn. Absolutely. I mean, even the people who are experts today, they had to start from somewhere, you know, so we can all learn, and it doesn't matter what you do, but as long as you are willing to do it, you can definitely do it. And I think that's very, very powerful, something that we can apply in our daily lives, like every day. And yeah, man, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your beautiful story. Very inspirational, and you're amazing. You're doing well for yourself, and and all the best with the rest.
Thank
of your
you so much.
journey.
Thank you for having me. You know, it's great. I had never thought that I would share my experiences on a public platform.
It's not easy.
You realize, Uti, I'm a very once you know me, of course, I'm actually an open person. And people don't know this, of course. But I never thought that I would come onto a public platform and share. But I have seen you sharing your story. You know, in fact, I think it was a mini-part series where you really went from the beginning until the very end, sharing the challenges, the wins, the lows, the highs. And it's inspirational, you know, as an outsider, it's been inspirational watching you grow your story and being able to share this vulnerability with others, you know. And so thank you for giving me the chance to do so as well. Thank you for giving me the platform to do it, and I hope that your audience continues to grow because you know you do amazing stuff. You do amazing content.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So
thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, before we start crying, because wow.
Let's stop before it gets emotional.
Please.
Okay.